Prime Minister has refused to deny that Christmas parties were held in Downing Street last year when the UK was in lockdown.
There were several dozen people there with food and drink and games, and it went on past midnight.
It's unbelievable. Don't clap. Fucking Boris is in the front row. We had a great time, and an absolutely smashing time. It's unbelievable. We were locked down, they're having a conga. Ba-da-da-da, fuck you. Ba-da-da-da, eat shit. Ba-da-da-da, hey, ba-da-da-da. It is such a piss take, man. We had hands, face, space. They had candy, brandy, hand, shandy. Did you see them scrabbling to cover it up?
All guidance was followed.
The guidance was followed.
No rules were broken.
Oh, fuck off. Like, we followed the rules. Yeah, if the rules were made by Rita Ora... yeah. You know I'm right. People were furious. They wanted to get the police involved, to which Dominic Raab said this.
The police have been very clear. They'll look at any letter, but they don't normally look back and investigate things that have taken place a year ago.
The police don't investigate things from more than a year ago. Crime doesn't have a sell-by date. It doesn't go off. It's murder, not milk. Have we found a body? Yeah, but it's curdled. Mind you, if crime did expire after a year, this guy would be delighted. You know, because some of his friends have been investigated. It's unreal, isn't it? The Tories had a piss-up while we were in lockdown. Christ, do they know how tough it was? Do they know how many fucking Zoom quizzes we had to do? Do you remember that? No, Mum, the capital of France is not F. No, Nan, an Australian dog is not called a dildo. Boris Johnson made a huge announcement.
The Prime Minister warns we're facing an Omicron emergency as he sets out a bold new plan for boosters.
The Prime Minister made the announcement in a televised address after warning that a tidal wave of Omicron is coming.
We must urgently reinforce our wall of vaccine protection to keep our friends and loved ones safe.
Must we? Well, you didn't give a shit about anyone's loved ones last Christmas, did you, Boris? We obeyed the rules. You and your mates were on the lash.
It now appears there were 7 parties in and around Westminster last Christmas.
7 parties! We were locked down. They had a week-long Mardi Gras. I bet by the end of the week, Boris was doing this. And yet, his ministers are still denying these parties even happened.
I don't even know if an event took place, but if it did, that no rules were broken.
What a load of shit. The event didn't happen, but if it did happen, then it won't have happened how you think it happened. Case closed, or open. Downing Street advisors were laughing at us. Did you see what they called the party?
His fictional party was a business meeting. And it was not socially distanced.
It was a business meeting. Really? Because by the end of it, many were rat-arsed. They probably left this business meeting like this. They weren't just shit-faced. They did a quiz. And look who hosted it.
It's the 15th of December last year, inside 10 Downing Street. Boris Johnson is hosting a round of a staff Christmas quiz. 2 colleagues are either side of him, one with tinsel wrapped around him.
Boris was running the quiz. What a piss take. Question 1. We're in a national lockdown. Should we A, obey the rules like everybody else? Or B, do what the fuck we want. We're the Tories. Fuck those peasants. Fuck them like the muggles they are. And despite being photographed there, he's still denying it even happened.
Mr Johnson has repeatedly said there was no party, that no rules were broken. Now he appears to have ordered an investigation to see if what he was saying was true.
He's ordered an investigation to see if he was lying. He was there. He was there next to a man covered in tinsel and a woman with either a tiny hat or a massive head. And if you think the Tories took the mick, look at the police reaction to these illegal parties.
The Metropolitan Police says it will not investigate allegations that staff at Downing Street broke COVID restrictions by holding a Christmas party because of a lack of evidence.
Now, I'm no expert, but surely the point of an investigation is to find evidence. You know, like a photo. It's like the police have got a dead body on the floor and there's a man in front of them holding a knife, covered in blood, with a T-shirt that says, "It was me. I killed him," and they're like, "I don't know, I'm not seeing it." Boris Johnson's all over the place. I mean, take the new COVID rules. On the one hand, he's saying this.
We will reintroduce the guidance to work from home.
Then, seconds later, he's saying this.
We think that it's okay currently on what we can see to keep going with Christmas parties.
So, apparently, this is a COVID hotspot. But this is absolutely fine. It's like, if Boris is suggesting that alcohol makes people in this country more responsible, I refer you to this headline: "Drunk fought invisible man." And in case you're not convinced, never forget that a 25-year-old man in relatively high spirits on a night out in Barnstable, Devon, tried to make love to an ambulance. So, will people follow the new rules? Yes, they will, in possibly the most British way ever. Over 1 million people are going to a Christmas rave at 10 Downing Street this Christmas Eve. Let's all wake up, Boris! Let's all wake up, Boris! So I cannot wait for the moment the police try and arrest them. This isn't a rave, officer. This is a business meeting. In fact, I've actually got my business card here. And let's all ignore that my dancing for a rave was that. I've never been to a rave, but I imagine not a lot of that, is there, all right? Good rave today, innit? They got a buffet in this rave, or what? Boris Johnson has big plans for the nation.
Conservative MPs and party members are gathering in Manchester for the start of their annual conference.
The Prime Minister tells his party that he'll deal with the biggest issues that no government has had the guts to tackle.
So how did he do that? By talking utter shit.
What monkey glands are they applying in Ribble Valley? What royal jelly are they eating? And our wonderful nurses pulled my chestnuts out of that Tartarian pit. Cordroid cosmonauts, fibre optic vermicelli, coagulated roundabouts, cheek by jowler, raucous squawkus from the anti-AUKUS caucus.
The country's on his arse, and he's taken acid and swallowed a dictionary. Did you hear what he said? Raucous, caucus, sausage porcus. It's like he's trying to remember his safe word. Ask your parents. Don't ask your parents, actually. But Boris is absurd. We've got a fuel crisis, and he's boasting about this.
Otters are returning to rivers from which they've been absent for decades.
Who needs petrol? We've got otters! You can't run a car on otters. Unless you got loads of them on a leash. And they're dragging it. And sure, I'm not against that, but it's just not practical. You know, imagine that just down quick fit. Your problem, mate. You got a flat otter. Also, let's not muck around. The otters returned to rivers by themselves. It had nothing to do with Boris. He didn't seduce them back. Like some kind of otter Pied Piper, just covered in fish. Come to me, my pretties. And when he wasn't banging on about the animals of Farthing Wood, he just came up with meaningless slogans.
Build back butter. Build back batter. Build back burger. Build back bitter. Build back beaver, I say.
What are you talking about? Build back beaver? That's not useful. That's something a female sex robot would say.
Build back beaver. Back door battered. Burn my batteries.
Here's a slogan for you, Boris. Stop talking bollocks! We don't want slogans, we want answers. But whenever he's asked a tricky question, he deflects it by saying a normal word in a funny way. Listen to the way he says global.
Have you got 100% of your staff back behind their desks?
No, I don't.
What's your percentage?
It depends which.
I've got 100% back at LBC. What have you got?
Well, I congratulate you.
Yes.
I congratulate. And does that apply to the whole of global?
You can't pronounce something in a funny way to get out of trouble. No, officer, I haven't been drink-driven. I haven't even been to the pip. Oh, my otter's flat. So the trouble is, Boris Johnson does this all the time.
I have nothing to say about this matter except offer you some tea. Flying frisbee. Blue. Passport. From Google. Dude. One crouton. Vegan sausage rolls. UFOs. Flapjacks.
And yeah, he's funny. There's no denying. But we don't need funny people in a crisis. They don't help. Nobody has ever been in a burning building and gone, quick! Someone get me a comedian! Grand's dying. Fetch Jimmy Carr! Ridiculous. Boris just doesn't inspire confidence. I mean, look what he wore when he went jogging. Look at that! Who goes for a run wearing a smart shirt and brogues? He looks like he's just been caught banging someone's wife. Just... That's right, madam. And... Was it you? When he wasn't... Raucous, caucus, when... I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. When I can't look at you, I'm sorry about that. But when Boris wasn't running around like an alcoholic James Bond, he kept saying this.
Levelling up, 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 levelled up, levelling up.
But what does that mean? Even his supporters don't know.
What does levelling up mean?
Yeah.
As far as I understand it, it means giving everybody a fair crack of the whip.
Well, it means levelling up rather than levelling down, and there's a significant difference.
Yes, because up is here, and down is there. And as you can see, they're very different places. Do you know the otters are back?